Since I don't have it on the screen, though, everybody do this with me, especially our guests today. Do this. Make a circle with your fingers like this. And look at that circle and say these words. The space inside this circle represents my realm of knowledge. All that I think I know about whatever I think I know is represented right here inside this circle. I must remember that there is more to know than what is within the circumference of my awareness. Now say this. Now what that all means is he's going to say something that I ain't used to hearing. Ashe. I start all of my talks off like that, and I do that, family, because I want to be free to speak. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I used to travel as a national evangelist around the country when I was in the Church of God in Christ. And there were some churches that I would go to that I was bound when I'd get into the pulpit. I wasn't free to speak what I had learned because I knew that the people in the audience weren't on that level. Elder Watkins just made a very powerful statement about the task, the responsibilities of a teacher. You see, in order to teach, I must say something that you don't already know. Let me say that again. In order to teach, I must say something that you don't already know. Did y'all get that? Because if you already know what I'm talking about, then that means you're not learning anything. You see? So my job as a teacher is to bring information to you that you are not aware of. In fact, y'all, guess what? How many of you have ever heard of the word evangelize? Ever heard that word before? An evangelist, contrary to popular opinion, an evangelist is not a traveling preacher. You see, the word evangelize existed before Christianity came along. Did y'all get that? If the word evangelize or evangelist existed prior to the creation of Christianity, think with me. Then how can we say that evangelizing is proclaiming the gospel of Jesus Christ? Y'all ain't grabbing what I'm saying? See, I'm already there. Come on, catch up with me. Think. If the, you know, we grew up with that mindset that to evangelize means to carry the gospel of Jesus Christ. No, it does not mean that. The word evangelize simply means to take knowledge to those who don't have it. Got me? So an evangelist is one who goes around disseminating knowledge, not religion. Y'all don't like what I'm saying already. Oh, buddy. I have the responsibility of proclaiming the truth. One of the things that I have learned, however, is you will know the truth and wish you didn't. Because coming into right knowledge changes things. Think with me now. Think with me. I'm not even into the message yet. Be honest with you, I didn't know what I was going to talk about today, but it's flowing, so let me just flow with it. Think with me. the decisions that you make in your life, at whatever point you are at in your life. Are you with me? Let me say that again now. The decisions that you make in your life, at whatever point you are at in your life, is based on the information and knowledge that you have at the time you made that decision. Let it sink in. I repeat, the decisions that you make in your life, at whatever point you are at in your life, is based on the information or awareness or knowledge that you have or had at the moment you made that decision. What happens after the fact, if you acquire more information, that now alters your perspective on the decision you made previously? Are y'all getting this? I don't even know why I'm going there. Let me restate that. In other words, let me create a situation. If someone comes to me and wants a job, the information that they present to me at that time will have everything to do with whether I hire that individual or not. Got me? Yes. Now, after they start working for me, and I find out there's some stuff in their background or some stuff in their character that I did not know at the point when I hired them, now what is my responsibility? Especially if what I have now found out is going to change my perspective. Wow. Let me ask this question. Let me keep, I don't know why I'm on this vein here, man. Woo. Let's use that same analogy to people who have gotten married. Oh, shucks now. Why is there a clause in the laws of something called annulment? That if you marry an individual and you find out after the wedding ceremony that there was some detrimental information there that you did not know before you said I do, you now have grounds to cancel it. It's called annulment. Are y'all grabbing what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that nobody, please don't say that's exactly what I've been waiting for. Don't do that. I've been waiting for an answer out of my predicament. I didn't know he was like that. That's not what I'm saying, y'all. What I'm saying is knowledge brings change. That's what I'm saying. I was talking to a sister a few weeks ago who I had met years ago when I was unconscious, when I was an advocate for religion, when I was a promoter of spiritual bondage. I'm trying to say all this politely, you see. And she said to me, Elder Hagins, how have you been? I said, I'm doing blacktastic. She said, you doing what? I said, I'm doing blacktastic. She said, I've been reading about you. You're all over the internet. I said, okay. How you doing? She said, I'm doing good. Praise the Lord. I said, okay, cool. Not a problem. And she started asking questions about where I am at at this point in my life? And of course, she asked the question, so I began to answer her. And of course, her response to my answers were, so are you telling me that you no longer, you got me? So really got down to is, and answering the questions, I started providing information to help her understand why I am where I am. And I think for maybe the first time, maybe second or third time, not more than that, after providing the information to her, I took it back. I did. I took it back. I said, you know what? After giving some thought to this, and I had given her 2 DVDs. I gave her Nicaea 325 and The Verdict Is In. I said, just watch these DVDs, and I'm sure it will answer a lot of questions for you. And she said, okay, you know, and after thinking about it, about 10 minutes later, I took the DVDs back. I said, you know what? Never mind. I don't want you to watch this. Now I had to go through why. Are you underestimating my intelligence? Am I making sense, y'all? No, I'm not underestimating your intelligence. I don't want to see you go through what I know you getting ready to go through. But isn't that strange about the human mind? How many of you guys have ever heard the story of Pandora's box? Isn't that something? The girl was told, don't open this box. Whatever you do, Pandora, don't open that box. The worst thing you can tell a person is don't do a thing. Parents, maybe that's one of the reasons why our children are getting involved in so much activity that we don't want them to get involved in, because we keep telling them, don't you do that, don't you do that, don't you do that, don't you do that. All the time creating a strong level of curiosity about the thing we keep telling them not to do. Am I making sense, y'all? Yes. So even though I took the DVDs back, she keeps asking for them. And I keep saying, sister, I really don't want you to go through this, because see, she's a member of Creflo Dollar's church. My boy, see, you are completely insensitive. You have no heart. You just don't care, do you? I said, I'm hard on your pastor. She said, why? I said, because he knows the truth and won't teach it to y'all. I said, I'm hard on Eddie Long, because Eddie knows the truth and won't teach it to y'all. And I'm hard on T.D. Jakes, because T.D. Jakes knows the truth and won't teach it to y'all. Which leads me to my message for today. The subject, so you'll have it, Shirley, is Cathedrals of Commerce. Thank you. I'm glad you said that. I got carried away in. Yeah, it would have been a blank tape, y'all. Oh, yeah. Thank you for that. Because y'all would have went to get this tape and it would have been blank. The subject for today is Cathedrals of Commerce. Wow. Sometimes, brothers and sisters, I look at where we are as a people. And I have to be honest with you, if you don't mind my candor this morning, this afternoon. If you don't mind my telling it like it is. Even though I'm aware of my assignment, and I'm committed to my assignment, and there's nothing that's going to change that. Because without knowing my assignment and carrying out my assignment, there's really no need for me to be on this planet. Y'all grabbing what I'm saying? But every now and then the emotional and human side of me says, I'm tired of people not caring enough for their own deliverance. But yet they would rather continue to sleep. Let me go right to the heart and say something that I know is going to offend somebody. Because of your love for what we have come through as a people. How many of y'all have ever heard of Martin Luther King?
Yes, sir.
Come on, I ain't seen y'all. How many of you have ever heard of Martin Luther King? Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. Okay. We as a people have been taught to love this man, and we should love him for his assignment. Grab what I'm saying. We should extol him highly because of his assignment. You see, everybody has an assignment. However, no one's assignment should become your way of life. Martin Luther King had an assignment, and that was to get out and raise a level of awareness and involvement in black people to do certain activities to help create certain rights and privileges for black people in America. That was his assignment. Even though he was Reverend Doctor, his assignment was not to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. And guess what? He didn't preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. He was a Baptist preacher, but he did not preach the gospel. That wasn't his assignment. In fact, if you go to our website and pull up the King Papers, you'll see that Dr. Martin Luther King did not even believe in Jesus Christ. And he documented it for his papers for school. He tells you clearly in the papers that he presented for his post-grad work that Jesus Christ was copied from the ancient Egyptian story of Horus of ancient Egypt. He says it in his papers. What I don't understand is he submitted these papers in 1946. What year did I just say? 1946 he did these papers, and yet he was the world's most respected black Baptist preacher till the day he died. Having said that, repeat this after me. I must delete from my mind the King legacy. Now follow what I'm saying. And I say this with all due respect to his assignment. We as a people are so involved and emotionally attached to Martin Luther King's dream that we can't wake up. Grab what I'm saying now. Look at somebody and say, in order to dream, you have to be asleep. You gotta sleep to dream. So when somebody says to you, keep the dream alive, what they're really telling you is stay asleep. I know that sounds good. Keep the dream alive. That sounds good. No. don't keep no dream alive. The neat thing about dreams, man, is some dreams are good. You ever been in a dream and you ain't want to wake up from it? Somebody called me early the other morning. I was dreaming. I was getting ready to start a lecture, man. All these people standing in front of me, and the phone rang. And I mean, just looking at all these people, I'm standing, getting ready to go into my lecture, and the phone rang and woke me up. And I told him, I said, hello. I said, you woke me up. I was just getting ready to teach. And they said, what you getting ready to teach? You sleep? I said, I was dreaming. I was getting ready to give a lecture. So I'm hanging up so I can go back. And I hung up the phone and tried to get back to it, but I couldn't. I woke up. And see, that's how dreaming is, y'all. When you wake up, the dreaming stops. Brother Ray, why do you say we have to delete from our minds the King legacy? You see, brothers and sisters, Martin Luther King, opportunity, civil rights, that's what he preached. That was his message. One of these days, we as a people are going to come to grips with the reality that no matter what laws they pass, there are simply some people who don't want us to have civil rights. And you must remember, a law is no more powerful than people are in place to enforce it. So if they pass a law saying that you can sit on the same toilet seat as a white man, and the owner of the restaurant that you go into say, I don't want you in my restaurant, what good is that law in that restaurant? Am I making sense, y'all? And King spent so much time preaching civil rights till we started marching for the privilege to do what white folk do. Y'all all right? We marched for miles. We wore out some good shoes just for the privilege to do with what white folk do. To end segregation, which was the worst thing that could have happened to us. Because you see, as long as there was segregation in place, black businesses stayed in business. Y'all know why? We couldn't go to white businesses. So you wanted to buy something, you bought it from a black business owner. Then they got rid of segregation and allowed y'all to go to the mall. And all of the small black businesses began to suffer because you wanted to spend your money with white folk. Because their clothes were better. Their ice was colder. Am I making sense here, y'all? And you know what's really deep about it? Y'all do the same thing right now. I'm going to say y'all, we do the same thing right now. I guarantee told you, as we used to say on the CB radio, I guarantee told you. You can go right up here to the red light right now at, what is that street, Natural Bridge? And make a right turn and go about 50 feet in, you'll see a sign that says Chop Suey. They closed. Oh, say, okay, see, how much I know. Ain't no Chop Suey's open? I was going to say that. I ain't true, because sometimes yeah. But you know what's really deep about it? If you go up here tomorrow, because they'll be open. Go up here tomorrow, not to buy, but just to prove what I'm saying. Go in there, you'll see glass that thick that these Orientals are standing behind, taking your money. But you will never see an Oriental go into a black restaurant. Sisters, y'all go get your nails and your hair. And you walk into, and the people in there, I don't know what I said. And you give them your money. But trust me, they ain't gonna ever set foot in a black beauty parlor that's keeping them in business. You're gonna go to the store down the street. When you walk through the door, the man may say in Arabic to someone else in the store, "Here come another one." And you're going to go in that Arab store and patronize it. And you know what's really deep? We don't have to get angry about it. We don't have to talk. We don't have to march. We don't have to boycott the store. Just don't go in there. Real simple. Just don't go in there. It's really deep, y'all, because this week, as you just heard Elder say, we were in the Bahamas consecrating it's called Kim en Het. Everybody say Kim. K-E-M. M-E-M. Het. H-E-T. In ancient Egypt, the word Het means temple. Kim means black. M means of. So when we say the phrase Kim en Het, we're saying the temple of blacks, or the temple for Africans, which is the home, which will be the home of the African village in Nassau, Bahamas. Yeah. And it was so good to be there with them this week, seeing that the brothers and sisters in the Bahamas are that serious about this message of African liberation. But what hurt my heart was, and those who went with me in February to the Bahamas, y'all saw the building. I showed pictures to it, of it. It's a 2-story building where we'll have black businesses on the lower level, an informational center, an instruction and teaching center on the 2nd level, and on the roof will be a research library. Not the roof, in the attic. It'll be a research library. That's how they're doing it down there. But some Arabs came in and they saw the building that was being built, and it automatically told them black folk getting ready to do something in this community. So what did they do? They opened up right across the street. Yeah. So that they can get the merchandise of the black people who are getting ready to channel in there to the Kim en Het. Man, what I wanted to say is, if Dr. King, peace be upon him, had preached economic independence instead of civil rights, we'd be better off as a people. Y'all hearing what I'm saying? If Dr. King had contributed to the awareness of black people in understanding the power of money and how money works, if he had done some marches on the importance of investing in our future economically, if Dr. King had stressed the importance of wealth building, where would all of those civil rights activists be today? But no, that was not his assignment. Okay, Dr. King, cool. I'm not upset with you. I'm upset with the folk who still think that they're supposed to carry on your assignment. Am I making sense, y'all? So as a result, we still got folk today in 2009 who think the answer to things is marching. We still march, y'all. You got to get that methodology out of your mind. That worked back then. It don't work today. Because the people who we used to march against have learned something about us that we have not yet learned about ourselves. What is it, Brother Ray? The people that we march against have clearly understood if we try to stop them from marching, we're going to have trouble. Y'all hear me? So you know what they do now? They say, let them march. It ain't going to be but one day out of our schedule. For a few hours out of our schedule. So let's get out the way and let them march. Because after they march, they going home.
That's right.
And we won't have no problem out of them because they will think that they have accomplished something. Y'all grabbing what I'm saying? Let them march. They ain't gonna hurt nobody. Only thing they're gonna do is waste their own precious time when they could be accomplishing something else. So let them march. Shoot, let's go to lunch. While they march, let's take the day off. While they march, let's stay home. Get a drink, kick back. While they march. Because after it's all over, they're going to walk home tomorrow. Yeah, we did it today. We did it today. And as a result of letting them march, we'll get better cooperation from them. Am I making sense, people?
Yes. Yes.
So the days of we shall overcome, don't sing that no more. Don't ever sing that song again. Don't ever sing it. Because they sang that when I was a little boy and we still have not yet overcome. And anything that takes this long to overcome, that means we're going about it wrong. Because the people who sang that we shall overcome, most of them are dead now. Martin told you, he said, I might not get there with you. But we as a people shall get to the promised land. No, we're not getting there as a people. Sorry, Martin. I'm the new preacher on the scene now. We as a people are not going to get to the promised land. Brother Ray, what are you saying, man? I repeat. We as a people are not going to get to the promised land. My job is to equip you as a person so that you as a person can get to your promised land. And the thing is, here's how it goes. If each one of us individually equip and prepare ourselves to navigate through this madness down here. Y'all grabbing what I'm saying? And each one of us become an achiever, then we as a people, as individuals, will get to where it is we got to go. But trust me when I tell you, doggone it, somebody don't want to go. And I've learned that. I've learned that some folk just don't want to improve themselves. They want to come and sit and listen to me talk about improving yourself, so they can go out here and say, man, that brother bad. Man, man, I ain't never thought about stuff like that, man. Whoa, man, you got to check this brother out, man. Whoa, brother dropping it. Whoa, he dropping it. And that's the most you're getting. That's the most you're doing. Where's the difference in you? Elder just said that in our talk. Are you more empowered, or you just got more information up here so you can masturbate a little bit better intellectually? I ain't offend nobody, did I? Because that's what a lot of us are doing. A lot of us are doing this. Brothers caught that. So we as a people are caught up into this thing called cathedrals of commerce, not institutions for African empowerment, cathedrals of commerce. What is the black church's role in our community's development? Somebody came to me the other day and said, what you need to be doing is building some housing. Like the brother down the street on Martin Luther King Drive. I said, the difference between me and the brother down the street on Martin Luther King Drive is he done sold his soul to the United States government. And the United States government gave him funding to build housing. That ain't gonna happen here. I'm sorry. No, I take that back. I ain't sorry. I'm not sorry at all. I will not become a slave to the government so we can get some money from them. We don't have the FBI program over here. What is that, Brother Ray? You talking about the FBI? So you get it right, because I want y'all going to say, what did the man preach about, child? He told us about the FBI today. Okay? FBI. Everybody say faith-based initiative. That's a program that George Bush implemented. Whereas we will give your church the money to do almost anything y'all want to do as long as you let us control your church. Yeah, we'll give you the funding to build housing for seniors. We'll set up programs in your community so it'll look like you really doing something. Man, come on. It's easy to look like you're doing something. And then what happens is when they give us the money to do that, then that means we have to report your name, your address, and all your personal information to the government. Y'all see how this works? Everybody say this. The primary role of the black church should be the growth of the spiritual development of any community, resulting in, say this, salvation, resurrection, and empowerment of black people. That's what we should be doing. But what happens when churches in our community don't live up to their role? And what do we have more of in the black community than anything else? Churches. You know, there was a time when black preachers, if you don't mind my saying this, they knew that preaching about going to heaven after you die was senseless. They didn't preach that. It didn't make sense to them to preach about going to heaven after you die when you ain't got no food to eat now. Black preachers knew it didn't make no sense to preach about going to heaven after you die, okay, when you came and walked down the street from church to your house without getting lynched. So the black preachers back in the day, like Nat Turner, in case y'all didn't know it, Nat Turner was a preacher. He was called the Black Prophet. And Nat Turner said that God spoke to him and told him to get some brothers and sisters together who knew what it was like to be mistreated in an enslaved environment. Get some brothers and sisters together and form an assault team. He said God told him this. He said, and God told him, build you an assault team and go around and kill white slave owners. And he did that in the name of the Lord. His assault team, I mean really, it was almost like a recon unit, man. His assault team was so powerful that it caused nationwide terror in the hearts of white folk. So you know what the white folk did? They started something called the slave patrol system just to catch Nat Turner and his assault team. Grab this now. What they started back then, which was called the slave patrol system, is now today called the police department. Y'all grabbing this? Denmark Vesey, Mother Sojourner Truth, Mother Harriet Tubman. They didn't talk about a Jesus paying for the sins of slaves that these slaves didn't even commit. Think about that, man. You see the program? Do you believe he died for your sins? What sins? We don't even think to ask that. What sins? What sins are you talking about, man? Well, I can't think of any sins that I've committed to him die for. Well, you was born a sinner. You see the program? What do you mean I was born a sinner? What did I do? I mean, really, what did I do in my mother's womb that would determine that when I came out of her womb, I'm a sinner? Are y'all grabbing what I'm saying? Now, you know what's really deep about it? Let me be honest. When y'all first heard that, it didn't make sense to you. Years ago, when you were first taught that, you had the same question in your mind. How was I born a sinner? That doesn't make no sense. But you accepted the indoctrination, and then you ingested that indoctrination to where you begin to believe it. And there's nothing more detrimental than believing a lie about yourself. That will, man, listen, if I can convince you to believe a lie about you, I don't have to put a hand on you. I just convinced you to destroy yourself. So they rather preached, instead of a Jesus dying for sins that slaves didn't commit, these preachers preached that the Lord, L-A-W-D, the Lord, would help them to get free if they stop being complacent, if they stop being apathetic, that the Lord will help you get free if you stop settling for being a slave. Mother Harriet Tubman tried to lead some folk free And it's deep, y'all. Out of all the folk that were slaves, what? She only was able to lead what? A couple of hundred? She said, I would have led more to freedom if they had only known they were slaves. See, that's the thing, man. You got to know that you're a slave in order to be free. As long as you don't realize that you are enslaved, you won't do what needs to be done to get your freedom. Same thing, y'all, with psychological enslavement, spiritual enslavement. Same thing, man. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to set you free, but you got to understand that you need to be free. Instead of saying, oh, Lord, we need to pray for that man. You're over there preaching that stuff to y'all, leading y'all to hell. We need to pray for that man. And y'all don't need to be going over there listening to that stuff. He's leading y'all to hell. No, I'm not. I'm trying to get you out of hell. Man. Oh, man. One of the things that they had put in place, and I close, one of the things that they had put in place, family, to help keep us messed up is the monetary backing of the lie of religion, especially Christianity. The Roman Catholic Church is one of the richest organizations on the planet. In case y'all didn't know it, that's where Christianity came from. And you might say, well, I ain't Catholic, I'm Baptist. You still Catholic. In case y'all didn't know it, the same doctrines that the Baptist Church teaches, the Roman Catholic Church teaches. There's only one difference, and that is, in the Baptist Church, you don't have to confess your sins to the preacher. In the Catholic Church, you got to go do confession. You go into this little closet-like thing, and you step inside while the priest is on the other side. You can't see him, and he putting the little top on his little bottle because you just came in. Or he got to put his robe down right quick. You can't see that though. And then you step in and you say, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. And he's sitting there saying, child, if you only knew. If you only knew. You don't even know what sin is. Man, the same doctrines that the Catholic Church teaches are taught in what we call the Protestant churches, whether it's Baptist, whether it's Lutheran, whether it's Episcopalian, whether it's Methodist. Same doctrines. You know why? Because all of the doctrines of the Christian church were created by Roman Catholic bishops in what we call council meetings, starting with the first one of Nicaea in 325 AD, where they created Jesus Christ. If you need to hold your circle up, go on, hold it up. If you need to do like this, do like that. So what they have done to maintain control over the masses is they have decreed the financial backing and economic support of churches that proclaim the lie. That's why Creflo Dollar's doing so well. That's why Eddie Long is doing so well. That's why T.D. Jakes is doing so well. That's why Fred Price is doing so well. Because when they went for their training, they went to their 8-week program and got licensed, and they were empowered to open a franchise. That's how that goes, y'all. Rhema Bible Institute. That's where Fred Price got his minister's license. And after completing his 8-week course, Kenneth Hagin said, I will finance you opening your church and put the upfront money for you. Only thing you have to do is tithe back to me every week. It's a business, man. It's called Cathedrals of Commerce. This is big business. It's big business maintaining this lie, because nothing has been as detrimental to black people as taking on the religion that was created by white people for black people's docility. Are y'all hearing me? Now, a lot of black people are starting to wake up. A lot of them are starting to listen to Black Liberation Radio. Man, I should have just printed out some testimonies just from this week that I got, so you could see what's happening. Don't y'all understand that a lot of money went into creating this lie, and a lot more money goes into perpetuating and maintaining this lie? Don't you think for one moment that they who created, the creators of this program of entrapment, want to sit back and just allow y'all to now wake up? We put too much energy in putting y'all asleep. That's why if the black preacher wants to be ordained, he's got to pass their test. He's got to answer all the questions that they wrote like they want answered, and then he gets an ordination certificate, which means you are now authorized to continue the lie and go out and mislead as many as you can. And the more you mislead, the higher rank will give you in the church. You tell this lie good enough, we'll make you a bishop. So give you a gold chain that you can wear around your neck and put the cross over your heart in your pocket here. So when you go out in public, everybody know you're a bishop. That's what I said. A bishop. I'm the bishop of Round the Corner Church. Boy, I tell you. While cathedrals of commerce are profiting by continuing the psychological genocide of our people, liberation centers are suffering and can't pay their bills. Isn't that deep? The same class of black folk, though, same class, like your next door neighbor, probably went to one of the cathedrals of commerce this morning. You came here. Same class of lifestyle. It's just that they got a program to maintain their income. It's called tithing. You know how they maintain it? They tell you, will a man rob God? Yet you have robbed me. And you say, well, Lord, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. So the Lord said, bring you all the tithes into the storehouse, that there might be meat in my house, saith the Lord, and prove me herewith if I won't open the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing you won't have room to receive. Not receive. And you know what we do as black folk? Whoo, I want a double blessing. You go in there and you get money that you know you need to pay bills because they told you bring your first fruits to the Lord. And you take it and you give it. And you've been doing that for years. And the only person who's really got a blessing that they ain't got room to receive is the preacher. You ain't got that yet. I ain't talking to y'all here. I'm talking to y'all listening to me. You ain't got it yet. The windows of heaven open. You still looking up. When, Lord? Got plenty of room in your cupboard. Plenty of room in your closet. Y'all follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
But you got to keep hoping. Keep hope alive. Keep the dream alive and keep hope alive. My God! Neither one of them don't happen. A dream ain't real and a hope never comes. Think about it. That's why you keep hoping. Because it ain't got here yet. Because once hope gets here, you don't have to hope no more. But you know what I found out? I found out that some of us, not all of us, some of us would rather have hope than the thing we're hoping for. Really? Because just knowing that it's on the way, you get joy when you think about it. Child, I know the Lord gonna bless me. They got this song out. It's one of the dumbest songs I've ever heard, and I know y'all know what I'm getting ready to talk about. My ship has finally come. Have y'all heard that? See, she just said, that's my favorite song. Okay, before I close, let's analyze the song. Analyze it. My ship has finally come. Okay. You see what you just did? That means that you need something so bad. Listen to me. That means you need something so bad that it could mean a lot of things. Come on. Now, be honest. When you say my ship has finally come, most people are talking economically. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about, some money. When you say my ship has finally come in, we're talking money. So I can get out of this pressure I'm under. But the thing about it is, if you listen to the song, the ship is still out in the bay. The song is still out there. I mean, the ship is still out there. It hasn't come into where you are. In other words, what the song is saying, I can see my ship. Now imagine that. Imagine that. I want you guys to imagine in your mind, if you can. Here you are on a pier in the Gulf of Mexico. And you look way out on the water and you finally see your ship coming. What's really deep about it is it may not even be your ship. It just may be a ship. But you want your ship to come so bad that ship out there. You done made it your ship. And you start rejoicing. Woo. Woo. And then after a while, that ship you saw, it start going that way. He said, wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa.
That's why I say my ship. My ship.
Then, you know what? I would apply that to the person who wrote it. Because he's the one who wrote that song. Maybe his ship has finally come. But what's really deep is when I write a song that says my ship has finally come and you get happy on it. If you need to believe, so baby, I don't mean take your dream away. You go right ahead. Go ahead and believe on the ship. Go ahead, help yourself. Get you a cruise ticket on it. Go ahead. You got it on the CD? Now you're going to listen to that song in a different light now, and I want you to. I want you to, because what they do is every now and then they'll release a song to anesthetize you. And you start singing a song and it becomes a drug. That's why the song's selling so. That's why it's selling so. It can't be everybody's ship. It's his ship. And he's making the money from the song. So yes, his ship has finally come. Because you paying, you giving him his ship. Am I making sense, y'all? Oh, God. It's a whole circle of them, huh? Now, some people need, really, Doc, see, I just took some people's ship away, man. It was still way out there. Now, what's really deep about it is it's out there. They still ain't got what's on it. They just see it. And some people get happy with that. Get happy with it. Whoa, child, I see victory. I see victory. Victory is mine. Victory is mine. Victory today is mine. I told Satan to get thee behind. Victory today is mine. Woo! Woo! Victory is mine. Man, I tell you, I get a kick sometimes out of seeing our people react to hope. And be honest with you, and I close seriously on this, I grew up watching that. I grew up watching black folk in church dance and shout and run and fall out on the floor on what was going to happen. And I watched many of them people die without it ever happening. When are we gonna wake up? I remember we had a preacher to come to our church when I was at my mom's church. Never forget it. He was called a prophet. And Minister Stewart and I were making fun of that yesterday, talking about how people used to say, child, I'm going to get a word. I'm going out to get a word. Well, this prophet stood up in my mom's church and said, Dr. Gilmore, God absolutely told me to tell you that you ain't gonna die. You're gonna be raptured. Now, see, I don't know what it is. When we look like that, that has meaning to us, Scoggin. I guess if I was to stand there and say, Sister Kim, Wow! Ooh, boy, I tell you, it don't take much for us, man. And it's deep because when he told my mother, "You're gonna be raptured," he had his eyes wide, elbows bent back like this. My mother jumped up. She said, "Woo!" And she went to dancing, and she used to shout like this. And of course, because she was the pastor, she got to dancing. And everybody else, I mean, y'all, that place turned into a madhouse. People running around the walls, the organ got to going, the drums got to playing, and he walking around tomorrow. And at that point, he had the audience. He just went out and started touching people. Wow. Oh. And they fall out. Oh. Well, guess what, y'all? April of 2004, my mom died.
In the rapture.
She was not caught up and raptured like he prophesied she would be. Now, according to the Bible, we're supposed to find him and stone him to death. Because the Bible says that if a person makes a prophecy and that prophecy does not come to pass just like that person said it comes to pass, that prophet is to be stoned to death as a false prophet. They don't preach that to you. They don't tell you that. So those preachers is promising people that they're going to get a new house and they're going to get a financial miracle within the next 7 days. All that kind of stuff. Y'all need to go get y'all some stones and find out where he gonna be next week. Don't take that literally. Don't take that literally. Don't take that literally. Do y'all understand what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? We got work to do. And we are very, very small. Unfortunately, the truth is not popular because it takes away the spookyism out of everything. It takes away the mysticism out of stuff when you just tell the truth. Black folk, many of us need an area that we don't understand. Because there's an area of something we don't understand, we believe God is in that. That is not God. God is in the works of Ma'at. Do Ma'at. Truth, justice, righteousness, harmony, balance, reciprocity, right order of things. Do Ma'at and live, and you won't have nothing to worry about. Ashe. Oh, man.